What's up, guys? Good morning. We are coming in live from Soho, New York on a very gloomy Friday in the city. At least it's Friday. If you're tuning into this, it is the middle of March. It's 2024. We got spring just around the corner in New York. You can almost feel it. But it's a perfect day to go out and talk about this camera, the X100s. Not the X100-6, not the X100V or 5, but the X100s, which came out in the year 2023. So that's over 10 years ago now. And the reason I want to talk about this camera in particular is because this entire model series, the X100, has gotten a lot of popularity in the last few years, really, on places like TikTok and Instagram, and it's blowing up a lot. And it's always been a really popular camera, in my opinion, in the FujiFilm lineup. But I think this particular model is getting a lot more attention because of its retro look, its style, and it's adding to that whole nostalgia factor that people are really into, whether it's the cameras that they use or the images that they take. They want that more retro feel, that retro look to their images, and I think having a camera that is going to serve that retro purpose to the way you use it adds more to that experience, right? That Fujifilm experience that we all love. I've been a Fujifilm user now for the last 7 years, and I've owned models like the X Pro 2, the X100F at one point, and then ended up selling and trading those stupidly because those are amazing cameras, and I just was not attuned to just how good they were back then. But I was in that phase I think a lot of photographers have, where they want to keep buying the latest gear or trading things too much, and I was experimenting, I guess you could say, with the different Fujifilm models that I like. But now, the last year, I'm back using the X100s after buying it used from my cousin. And I want to talk a little bit about that because this camera is a lot of fun to shoot with. Yes, it's a 10-year-old model now at this point, but it can still capture amazing images. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit right now. So right now I'm here in Soho, downtown in the city, walking along Lafayette Street, which, fun fact, they're trying to make it into Little Paris, which is a small section right now on Center Street here in Soho. And they're trying to apparently expand it to all of Lafayette. You got cafes like this here, restaurants like Jack's White Frida that has a very Parisian vibe to it. On the weekends you'll catch a lot of people sitting at their benches, very Parisian style. But anyway, I'm here to talk about this camera, the X100s. And I'll start first with the retro design. So as you can see, it has a lot of the dials and functions outside of the camera. You can even control the aperture on the outside of the ring. So this model, or this design of the model, has been around now for, over 10 years, because now we're up to the X100VI or X100-6. So clearly this model has stood the test of time. It is a retro style, it is fun to use, it almost becomes an extension of your hand in a way, or I guess an extension of your eye really, because you're taking photos with it. But it ends up becoming an extension of you as a person and what you see because of how easy it is to hold. Clearly it's extremely small. As a street photographer, I personally love it because I get to have it around my wrist, around my neck, throw it in my backpack. And the old saying is true that the best camera is the one that you have on you. So you want to make sure that you are carrying a camera that you feel comfortable with, that is with you at all times. Not to say that it has to be necessarily this camera, but I think for anyone that's interested in using the X100 series, that is a huge benefit of this camera, is because it is lightweight, it is portable, it is a good look. So if you're just out on a night or day out in New York City and you want to strap a cool camera around your waist and not carry a lot, then this type of camera for you. Because something that's important in street photography is being able to notice things, right? So by being able to have my camera ready at the whim and taking images when I'm ready to take them with a small light camera, it just helps me get that shot out faster, right? I'm not fumbling with a big camera, I'm not pulling it out of my bag. I'm able to walk around with this camera confidently on my wrist at all times when I'm out shooting intentionally. So that's always going to create the best images. And I'll try to leave my images here as I'm talking. I'm not super great at editing yet on YouTube, so I'm going to try to find the best way that's good for me to edit and easy for me to sort of talk more about my cameras, blog a little bit about what I'm up to in New York, so that I can create some hopefully informative content for you guys. Because if you clicked on this video, you are someone that's interested in potentially picking up one of these used and shooting in the year 2024. So another thing I want to talk about is usability, right? So we talk about how portable this device is, but something I want to talk about is just because of the slower nature of this camera's sensor, it doesn't have an X-trans sensor. It still has the CMOS sensor that Fuji would use on their older cameras. It's slower. It just is. It's a 16 megapixel camera, which in 2024 might seem like a low pixel count, but trust me, if you're posting to places like social media or on websites even, you don't have to worry too much about megapixel count. 16 megapixels is more than enough for you to get by and create some stellar images, which I'll hopefully try to edit into here and leave for you guys to see. Because what is going to create a good image is not your megapixel count, it's not how big the sensor is, it is your eye, it is your way of looking at the world, it is your moment in time that you're capturing an image and creating that image. So focus more on that as a photographer rather than needing the best camera or fixating on how many megapixels you have in an image or on a camera sensor. And last and finally, I think for me, it's about the fun of shooting with the X100 series, and in particular the X100s, because for me, I'm a photographer that loves to slow down, notice the space around me. I don't shoot in burst mode. I don't shoot, at night. But you can adapt a flash. There is actually also a built-in flash here for night images. So for me, I'm a photographer that likes to slow down, take my image. As you can see here now, I'm not needing to fumble a lot with my settings. I set everything to automatic, yes, including my aperture. But if I am messing with my aperture, I will set it to aperture priority and go anywhere between f2, which is the spec on this camera, goes all the way up to f2, which is okay for low light. It's not amazing, but it does get the job done, more than enough of the job done, if you have enough light that you're working with during the day. Today we have a really cloudy day, so it's not too harsh in sunlight. It's not too dark either. It's still the morning. So lots of light to work with. You don't have to worry about the aperture being at f2. It still gets the job done, and it's really cool that this thing has a built-in flash with it too, just in case you need it in a pinch. But yeah, that's really it, guys. This is not a video that's going to be aiming on specifications or features, but more focused on the design, the usability of it, and just my personal experience with using the X100s series. Again, a camera that is now over 10 years old, came out in the year 2013, and it still stands the test of time. I think that's what makes FujiFilm such an amazing system, is because these cameras really stand the test of time in terms of their usability, their design is timeless, and they're just fun to shoot with. This is the kind of camera that you actually want to pick up from your bag or put into your bag and go around and walk around and shoot with it. So for anyone that's clicked on this video and you're interested in picking up the X100s, the X100T even, or the X100F, which are all models that are more readily available than the X100V or 6, you can get those models that I mentioned used. Facebook Marketplace, Key.com, B&H, check around the internet, eBay even, and you can get those models for well under their original retail prices. I'm actually trying to sell this one right now for around $500, $400, see what I can get over on Facebook Marketplace so I can upgrade to the X100F at some point, because I'm not even trying to go up to those 40 megapixels and have all the in-body stabilization. But hey, if you're looking for those features, then dish out the money, right? Those models are going anywhere from like 1,000 to the latest now 1,600, I think, for the X100 VI. Anyway, before this gets too long, I just want to make this video to quickly just go over the reasons why I love this camera so much. And it looks like you guys are really interested in learning more about the older cameras that I use. So I'll be talking on this channel next about what it's like using a Digicam. Yes, a little Digicam. I found a Sony one, and what it's like to really shoot in the year 2024 as I'm creating these vlogs. So I'm here in Little Paris. I'm meeting up with a friend today to grab some breakfast before my Friday gets started. So thank you guys for tuning in, and live from New York, it's Friday morning, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.